Hello everyone, welcome to Binary's yet another episode of Utility Cloud Guide series. Here we typically invite industry experts to talk about trending topics and share knowledge with the utility community. I'm Sarang from Bynry and host for today's show. Our topic for the discussion today is smart water management with artificial intelligence. So to speak on the topic, our guest today on the show is Elango Thevar, who is founder and CEO of NEER and has spent more than 18 years in the water sector. He founded NEER to bring an affordable digital water management platform for over 8 billion people. Through his work on major water infrastructure projects across the United States, he has acquired a profound understanding of water infrastructure management. Great stuff. So with Elango today, we'll discuss how artificial intelligence will be used to overcome utility challenges and how it brings value to the water utility. So I'll not waste much time and welcome Elango to the show. Welcome, Elango.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for inviting me to this show. Really appreciate it. So happy to be here.
Great. So as today's topic is smart water management with artificial intelligence, AI, and we commonly use the word smart water, right? So Elango, can you please throw light on understanding the concept of smart water, what it means exactly? Over to you.
Yeah, smart water is a very, very loaded, term in the water industry, especially in the last 5 years. The digital water or smart water, AI-driven, solutions was really, taking over in the water industry. So I would say before even we jump into what is smart water, in my opinion, I think from a utility perspective, their mission is to provide this, 24/7 clean water services to their citizens, and also take away this dirty water away from their house, and at a much cost-efficient way. That's their mission, right? And they've been doing this for the last, at least in the Western world, like in the United States, they've been doing this for the last, 100 years. They're able to provide this clean water services, take away the dirty water, especially in the last 50 years. The regulations came in and they're able to, make sure the utilities are, functioning in a very optimal way to provide those services. So their mission is to provide these services at the lowest cost possible, at the highest quality. But in order to achieve that mission, there are technology that's evolved over the time in the last 50 years to kind of make it more efficient, to optimize the operations or to optimize their, capital investment. But especially in the last, 10 years, I do believe the smart water, kind of the term refers to kind of helping the water utilities to make a data-driven decisions and leveraging the technology like machine learning, or maybe someday through AI, on all the aspects of the water management. If you look at the utility, they usually take the water from groundwater or the river, they treat it, and then they have to distribute the water, and then they have to collect the water. They have to, again, treat it on the wastewater treatment plants and then put it back into the ecosystem. So the machine learning or the AI, where everybody wants the holy grail of water industries, everybody wanted to kind of build this true AI, starting from the water treatment, the distribution, and the wastewater collection and the wastewater treatment, and also the stormwater, which is the rainwater. How you wanted to make sure the route the water without any flooding on the streets, on the houses, and capturing, not damaging the river and the groundwater through the water quality perspective. So I think that the smart water, in my opinion, it refers to, if you talk about different, industry experts, they may have a different opinion, but in my opinion, it's just leveraging the technology, helping the utilities to make the data-driven decisions through machine learning, or someday through AI, and helping. But at the end of the day, you're helping the utility. It's just a means, right? It doesn't matter you use machine learning or or Excel sheet. At the end of the day, we want to make the utility director's life much easier so that he can make the decisions, both operations and the capital investment perspective, and helping the citizens get the excellent services they're looking for. That's the end goal. So there's always a strategic driver, and there is a strategic outcome, but this technology now at a point that we can actually leverage this technology to build this, the next generation, the water wastewater utility for the entire world. I think the AI has that potential. And that's what I would say that smart water means to utility and also to the solution providers like NEER.
Great. Thanks for explaining the concept of smart water. So that lead me to my next question, and that is, what are the possible AI opportunities in smart water? So you also work in the same field, and no other than you can talk better on this question. So over to you, Elango.
Yeah, I mean, the artificial intelligence, I don't know about your audience. The artificial intelligence is the goal, right? That's what everybody wants to get to, someday, any industry, but in order to get there, we use machine learning, to some other tools to kind of get to there. So there are several opportunities in the water industry, machine learning, ML or AI driven. So again, let's start from the stormwater perspective, which is the rainwater. So you have to manage those water because that's the source of water for your drinking system, your distribution system. So you have to effectively manage, the stormwater, water quantity and also water quality perspective, meaning, you wanted to make sure that the water quality of the natural streams, it's not polluted in a way that, it affects the ecosystem, the biological ecosystem, but also it affects us because we have to treat the water to meet the certain, standards so we can drink the water. So from that perspective, predicting flooding or predicting, the water quality, how the water quality changes within the watershed is a great opportunity there. I mean, there's already companies like NEER is, doing some excellent work there on that side. On the drinking water side, on the treatment side, most of the, water treatment plants here in the United States, they add chlorine, which is kind of a disinfectant, kind of provide this, clean water to the citizens. So you have to track this chlorine, how it, reacts to the water, the disinfection byproducts is a big issue in the distribution system. So in order to predict that in the distribution, the water quality perspective, the dosage within the water treatment plant and how it affects the distribution side, the AI is a tremendous opportunities there. And also you wanted to forecast, what the demand is going to be, how people are going to be using water. That's a classic AI opportunity. And I know you guys already working on the building side of things, where you have a, good AMI meter that you can actually track. There is a water loss within the, within the citizens, the buildings. You can see if there is any leak during the night, if there is kind of a water consumption, you cannot see if it's, deviate from the normal behavior. There may be an opportunity to figure out the leaks. So there is a tremendous opportunity there. And then also NEER kind of works on the distribution side. You wanted to know what the water loss within the distribution, and you need to pinpoint where the leaks are, the water main break on the infrastructure side. So there is a tremendous opportunities, on the machine learning and AI side. This is just one example of, the drinking water, the entire network. I think you can apply AI to any of these problems. It has a tremendous potential. I honestly believe, and I already mentioned this to, many of my colleagues. I think AI is kind of the technology like, the fire or electricity. It has that potential to reach, transform any industry. I think water industry is kind of a little bit late in this game, but one of my mission was to bring a affordable technology like machine learning or AI to 8 billion people. That was the biggest motivation I started here. I do believe AI is kind of a new term in the last 15, 20 years. It's catching up, even though the term was coined a long time ago. But the technology, cost dropped down significantly, so we can leverage, significantly to provide this, amazing technology to the water industry. So that's just the drinking water side of things I mentioned, but the wastewater treatment side, it's also, you can do the collection system forecasting, and the rainfall, and that kind of ties back to your stormwater side of things. Understand, where the inflow infiltration in the collection system. The opportunities are enormous, Sarang. I think, I think if you are in the water industry, you got to be very excited about this, because I think, we are at a tipping point that the next 10 years is going to be really, really fun to transform the water industry to a much bigger heights. So.
Absolutely. So very true, Elango. That was really great insights for all of us, and hearing about what kind of AI opportunities you have just highlighted, right? So you have been in the same industry, Elango. So my next question to you would be, what are the challenges utilities, or typically water utilities, face in adopting AI, like artificial intelligence, in smart water? So if you can just talk about that.
Yeah, that's one of the greatest question, right? We all get excited about AI. I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a founder, so I live in the futuristic world, like, well, we can do this, we can do that.
Yep.
But the reality is, when you go and talk to the utility, you kind of like, okay, where they are today, and you want it to be this, completely automated utility that AI is making the decision for you. That was the dreamland I've been living on. But I think the reality, the challenges is, especially in the United States, the market is, the biggest challenge is that some of the utilities are very, very small. They do not have the human resources to implement this technology. Mm-hmm. So in kind of in this digital water, we say, the people, processes, and technology, right? The technology is there, if I can talk to anybody on this planet, with no cost, able to bring this kind of the same kind of technology to the water industry, the technology piece is already there, in my opinion. And then the processes is always there is a strategic driver, like they want to reduce the water main break, or they want to reduce the water loss, there's a strategic driver is there, the people, you meet these utility directors, they've been in this, serving this utility, they're extremely passionate about, what they do. There's, if you go to a small utility, this guy working there for 30 years, or 15, 20 years, and he is really passionate about providing those services for their citizens, so they have extremely passion. I think the technology, and since it's it relates to the public safety, there's always the risk, people adopting a new technology, right? So I would say there is the biggest challenges is the people kind of understanding the technology, side. We need to educate the people, the utility directors, and able to, tell them what we can do. But even though there's a lot of challenges, but the opportunity here is like to start small, start work on a small piece of, maybe converting your, meters that you drive by every day, maybe convert that into AMI meters, that reduce the water loss on the consumer side, completely automate the building side. That's just the one project they can do to get excited. They can reduce their time and be able to see the, improve their buildings immediately when you go AMI and, provide some ML software to track the water loss on the consumer side. And then you can, you build like layer by layer, you don't just go from level 0 to level 5 in a day. It's a journey, right? The smart water is a journey. The bigger challenge, even though there is a bigger challenge, I think the opportunity here is to educate them and bring them on board, and educating the workforce that they're providing the services. So I think, the biggest challenge is the people, making sure that we, it's our responsibility to educate, the workforce that's been providing this service for a long time, that they're gonna leverage the technology to make the decision much faster, efficient, much cheaper. At the end of the same day, meeting those goals they set, at the first place. So I think that's the only challenge I see. But next 5 years, man, I think I think it's going to be completely transformed. So
Absolutely. Very true. Spot on, Elango. And as you rightly said that, so it's our responsibility that we should educate and aware these utility people about what technologies are coming up, how they can adopt this, and how by using this, how they can transform their digital journey, right? So
yeah,
these are actual problems utilities face, and we have also seen similar challenges while talking to our customers or prospects. So it's very important to correctly identify the problems and challenges and come up with appropriate solutions, right? So that lead me to ask my next question, Elango. So what are the recommendations and guidance and solutions utilities can adopt using artificial intelligence? If you can just talk about that.
yeah. I would say that my first recommendation is reach out to people, open to,
Yep.
open to network from a utility perspective. Even if you have like providing these services for 1,000 people, 2,000 people, there is a education forum like Smart Water Network, and I want to plug that entity here. Great organization. They talk about digital water. We had a conference there, and utility, even small utility, can become a member for less than $500, just to get what's there. How is DC water is run? What is DC water is run today? What are the challenges they face? So you're facing the same challenges. What are the technology they are, using? Or like Orange County wastewater district, what are the challenges they face? How it's run? Or Portland Clean Water Services. So understand, get excited about, like, reach out and network, talk to people before even you do anything within this system. Like, you don't need to go by NEER or Bynry today, but educate yourself, like at least 1 or 2 months, who is the solution providers, and what are the utility, from a utility perspective, what are the challenges they face, the biggest well-run utilities in the world, So that will give them get started about, excited about digital water or AI-driven solutions. And then you do some small projects, like a AMI transformation, or building automated building, or building a real-time. If you already have an AMI, you're ready for real-time modeling and forecasting, and if you, let's say, you don't have any inventory, you don't know where the pipes are, maybe you start small, start inventorying your pipes and manholes, and digitizing your assets. So every utility has a different challenge. So the first thing is just understand how the utilities run, well-run utilities, where you are, what is your current status? Are you level 1? Like you just have a paper maps. So you have to build like a layer by layer. And it's a journey. And some utilities, they're level 3, they're ready to, implement some solutions right away. But there are helps available. You can reach out to people. I think the water industry that I've met so many great people in the industry. They're not money driven. They just want to really help, So they're really concerned about, the industry and transforming this industry to a modern, society, because without water in a day, what happens, right? So, I think, start small, educate yourself, understand where your system is, reach out. There's plenty of help available. So,
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Elango. And such kind of sessions, I hope this will also help utility community to get educated, to get aware of what is happening in the industry, how they can adopt the digital technology, right? So great thoughts, very insightful, Elango. Your thoughts on how AI technology can enhance smart water management will make a lot of sense, I believe, and bring immense value to the utility community. So thank you for for the audience as well. I hope you all will grab some interesting facts about how AI plays an important role in smart water management. So I thank you again for being here today, Elango, and making this possible. Thank you so much. Great talking to you. Have a great day.
You too, Sarang. It's great to be here again. Thank you so much for inviting me. Appreciate it. So keep doing what you guys doing. You know, this is the education part. So I'm happy to be part of this. So
thank you. Thank you very much.